Well, Ruby, what is you doing?
Hey, wait, sorry, what are we sorry.
You
What are
know
we all
what?
supposed to
Fuck
be
it. This
doing?
is all gonna be part of it because what we want everybody to motherfucking do is smoke weed and watch Motherhood Sex
Sex
Marijuana.
marijuana. Because
Yes.
we always in the building.
We always in the motherfucking building. Season 7, legendary trends. We gonna be coming with some new shit and be in the building for all of it every Sunday on time. Cool.
I know I'm coming. They know I'm coming. I know they gonna be there. And they know I'm gonna do the best job I can possibly. 60.
Marijuana. Because
Yes.
we always in the building.
We Motherhood, Sex, Marijuana, Wellness, and Weed event July 12th and 13th at Positive Vibes Cannabis Club. We'll be having Lena Horne, City Static, Majestic the God, Rue the Gypsy, Chris Wolf, Cannabis Massage, Tough Puff Queen, and of course, Motherhood, Sex, Marijuana is going to be live podcasting. Be in the building. Get your tickets now. Okay, people. This is the official intro of Positive Vibes, the place where we're going to have our sexual wellness and flowers event July 12th and 13th. Yes, indeed. You see the fabulousness. We'll be having performances. And yes, these are our sponsors. These are our sponsors. Yes, come through, sponsors. And if you want to be a sponsor too, bitch, child, hit us up because we'll get your logo promoted and we'll definitely look forward for your donation. Yes, indeed. Motherhood, Sex, Marijuana in the building. Positive Vibes Cannabis Club in the building. Be in the building. Yeah. Lord, all this time I was talking and I was on mute. Lord, that's how we starting this shit up today, Lord. Okay.
What's up, beautiful queen?
What's good, Queen? Hey, ow,
Mm.
ow, 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 ow. We look good. We feel good. The lipstick is popping. Okay.
Thank
Yes,
you.
indeed.
Thank you.
Yes, yes, indeed.
And you
Yes, indeed.
pop it as usual with your expensive hairdo, girl.
It's what shit.
All
Well, shit.
natural.
That's the thing. This is the before the hairdo because next week I'm getting my hair done. So I took my hair down in order to let it breathe so that when next week I'm ready to see my girl Sabali. Shout out to my girl Sabali in the
Shout
building.
out to Bali. You
Yes,
know what? You could
indeed.
have fooled me. Your hair just be popping because it looked like you just did it to me.
Shit, girl, I be trying to keep up. Definitely trying to keep up with, what I'm saying. Even when it's down, I try to make it look good because obviously I got shit to do in the weekdays, and pictures got to be taken and things of that nature. So of course I gotta look good. But yes, girl, the day is next week, and our guests are in the building. So let's let them in. Yes, indeed.
Yay!
Admit. Let's see. Admit. Oh, what we doing? Sue, my eyes is playing tricks on me. Admit or let's get it on. Let's get it popping. Motherhood, sex,
Oh
marijuana in the
my
motherfucking
goodness.
building.
Motherfucking building.
In the
Welcome.
motherfucking
Is it Can
building.
Aquarius?
Yes,
Is Can Aquarius?
Can Aquarius podcast. Yes, ma'am.
Woo. Blessed
Well,
be.
thank
Welcome,
you for being in
welcome.
the building. Welcome, welcome,
Thrilled to be
Demetra,
here.
Dr. Demetra Bates. No. Say it
Yes.
right.
Gotta say the time. Say
Dr.
it.
Demetra Bates. Yes.
Yes. Give her her credit. Give her her flowers. Yes.
Absolutely.
That's right. And we are thankful and glad that the ladies are here. And the fact that
very grateful.
I mean, by the time this gets to YouTube, it'll be outside of LGBTQ month, but the fact that we doing it during, it's all good. So yes, let's do that. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna go ahead and be quiet and let y'all tell the people who you are and introduce yourselves. Let's do it.
Kick them off, D.
Hello, everyone. How y'all doing out there? I'm Dr. D, the Can Aquarius MP. You can find me on Instagram. But I am the host of the Can Aquarius podcast. I'm joined by my co-host here, Jabria. What's up? Happy Pride, baby.
Hey. Talk
Hey,
with
Jabria.
baby.
Yeah, but I mean, when it comes to the podcast, I just saw that there was a need, that there wasn't people that look like us, for one, whether as Black women, but also too, just being in that LGBT space. So yeah, that's how Can Aquarius came about. I mean, with the play on words, I mean, cannabis and being queer.
Brilliance.
And how long have we been doing this? I see that we got a channel on YouTube. We definitely on Spotify and all the places where podcasts need to be. But how did what was the kickoff for y'all?
Kickoff was 420 this year. Just started. We just started.
We are brand new.
Nice.
Congratulations.
Nice.
That's what's
Thank
up.
you.
Congratulations. Yes, and how do we feel now that we're in the space, we're creating a lane that what I mean, and how is it being taken by our friends, our family? What's the general consensus about our new podcast?
Oh, they're loving it.
Yeah.
I mean, I have people down in Florida, well, I should say, yeah, I have family and friends out in Florida that's like, I'm sharing it with this one and I'm sharing it with that one. And, even just looking at the analysis of it all, we have people in Australia and Russia. It's like really starting to, meet some people, even internationally. So, yeah, no, I'm excited.
Yeah,
so
what's
much to
been
come.
really, oh, my bad. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you good. Go ahead.
Yeah, one of the things I think that's been really great about it is a lot of people are starting to open their eyes up about cannabis because it's becoming more legal in more places. So people are curious about, like, first of all, what's happening in the body, but also what's happening on a social level. So I think there are a lot of people who have been interested in talking more about, like, what is the history? Why has it been prohibited? What does rescheduling and descheduling, what does all of that mean? And so just getting the word out there, I think has been helpful for people as well to have a spot to go to where we know we're giving them the truth.
Absolutely. And communicating it in a way that people are able to digest. For me, it's like big concepts. Like I love to philosophize and I love to sit and ponder on why things are the way, right? Things are the way they are, why shit's the way it is in my life. And then like sometimes it's like, yeah, you don't know the answer to that, Ruby, and it's okay. And you don't have to be the expert. It's okay that I'm not Dr. Demetria. She worked hard for that shit. But it's like that's what I love about creating spaces for ourselves, because we give ourselves permission to do whatever it is. I think this whole podcast game is a labor of love. I think we have a great responsibility because we choose to not only create these spaces, but participate and offer our thoughts, right? And I think that you have to be, I would say my advice to anybody getting started in this would be, uh, or remember, excuse me, remember that humans be humaning and everyone has access to the internet and everyone can say whatever the hell that they want to say. And that should never take away from what we have. In fact, my new thing, thanks to my homie, shout out to Odd Lobby, is perception is God. If you really think about it, everyone's perception is their God. I could say my God is the tree and the tree's name is Sam. Well, that's what I go by. And ain't nobody gonna tell me different, yo. And so, however, the beauty in it is when I can come across, I can communicate, hey, well, this is how I feel, and this is why, this is how it benefits me, this is why. Even if you don't, it may not serve you in the same way, at least you have a perspective on something that you hadn't thought about before. How about that? How about that no one knows everything? You know what I'm saying? Thank
I
you
think
so
that's
much for
so
And
having
well
the
said. So well said.
and on top of the fact that, you know, I mean, just the fact that you wanted to jump, you were, you know, forthwith and just willing to jump into this lane, like, you know what, yeah, I might get online and I might say some shit and somebody might jump in the comments and have some fuckery ass opinion. And you know, I gotta figure out a way how to take that. I gotta, you know, not jump in and say go suck your mother. No, I gotta, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, yeah, you know what I mean. That's the one lane. How have y'all been dealing with that as far as, you know, people in your comments? If you've had situations like that, is what I'm asking.
Yeah. I don't know if Dr. Bates can speak to the podcast first, and I can talk about my experience going on the Instagram rampage and things like that.
Well, I would say, right now my following is definitely pretty small. I haven't really had any negative comments when it comes to the podcast. I have had maybe one negative comment about me. I shared like a photo of like me and my son. We were out. It was Pride season, and someone put disgusting, under the comment. And it was like, wow, my first negative comment, because I
because they
was one who was in a shell. I never was one who lived my true self. I'm just now literally living my most authentic self, like right now as we speak. So
that's
for
what
me to get that first, my first negative comment, I was like, oh, okay. So now what do I do with this? Because now like so many people have been supporting me that negative comment is like out the window. Like he can go kick rocks as far as I'm concerned.
It
yeah,
means
it's
you're
like a fart.
great. Also, if you're making people mad, that means you're out there, you are saying the right stuff because people don't want to hear it. People don't like to see things that confront their belief system or that contradict their belief system. They don't want to have to do the internal work to be like, why is this upsetting me so much? Why do I have the time to be going on and typing crazy shit under people's comp? Like, people don't want to deal with that part. So they'd rather just anonymously post some little shit and be like, yep, I'm going to say something mean to make myself feel better about myself, when really the insecurity is internal. So that is how
Exactly. And not to mention there are full-on jobs that cause for trolling. There are trolling jobs. If you don't believe me, look it up. I couldn't believe it myself. But it's like just knowing that. It's like, can't nobody tell me anything, especially when those I love, my best friend, other people, my sister, they think like, hey, what you're doing is not so bad. I'm going to get right into it, ladies. First of all, how do you know each other? How did you meet? I should say is a better
Yeah.
question.
So we were both in the Cannabis Coaching Institute, Cannabis Coaching and Educator program. And so Dr. Bates, we started in the same cohort. It took me a little bit of time to finish. So she finished before I did. But she had reached out while I was still in the program right after she finished and was like, hey, I want to collaborate. And I was like, who is this person? Like, she wants to work with me. That's so cool. But I have no idea what I'm doing yet. So let me put this on like a yes, and give me a few months to catch up. And then once I
I
did,
can
she
relate.
reached back out and it was on and popping from there. I don't know if do you want to say more, but her vision was very clear from the jump and was something I very easily could hop on board with because it landed with all of my values as well.
No, I mean, I've just been manifesting and meditating, I should say. And it was like, I see this girl, she's in my class, you know, and it once again it goes back to that representation because it wasn't many of us, and I mean in Black women, you know, in that cohort at that time. It was like, okay, I need to reach out to her, you know, and I was like, and she's from, you know, Virginia, because at that time I was in Virginia too. And so I was like, okay, let me see where this thing go. And then she did respond. So I was excited. I was like, okay, well, I'll give her time. And I just continue to just meditate on, is this podcast, you know, is this what I'm supposed to be doing? You know, am I supposed to be reaching out to this person? You know, like all these things. But yeah, it just came back full circle and here we are now, you know, so.
And you know what? And
Definitely.
that goes back to, you know, something, one of the things that I say on a regular basis here on our podcast is that things happen for a reason. And you know what I mean? So your, you know, the development, the flow of your podcast, you know, it started that way for a reason. You know what I mean? Like for instance, with me and Ruby, when we started this, like Ruby came to me with this idea just like a few days after we met. So you know, so for us, you know, she basically had the foresight to see, you know, the greatness of this project way before I did. You know what I mean? And you know, and even in the first conversation that we had about this podcast, it wasn't until I went home and, you know, took a couple of tokes on my, you know, by myself and was, you know, mulling over the idea. And I was like, wait, hold on. Motherhood, sex, and marijuana is what the fuck I live. Like this has been my life since 1997. Like I've been smoking weed since I was 16. I became a mother at 25, and I didn't stop smoking weed since then. Like, you know what I mean? I've
Nor
gone
have
through,
sex.
you know what I mean? Still continue to have sex, of course. Hello. There are three more children after the first one. I'm just saying. But, you know, so the lifestyle always existed. You know what I mean? And it was her that said, you know what, we could be talking about this shit on for real basis, because who else lives like us? A lot of stoners live exactly like us, and we have all gone through, you know, it's some of us, I can't say we have all, but some of us it's more to extreme where, you know, we've gone through the CPS situations where, you know, or the neighbors that want to talk shit, but your kids is cleaner than theirs. I'm just saying, you know, we've gone through even the family members, you know, throwing hate on the fact. I mean, shit. Matter of fact, Ruby, don't your mama still hate the fact that we doing this show? I'm just saying. Your
She
mom
wish I would
still
stop. Yes.
like, so you know what I mean. So you know, so the concept was always there. You know what I mean. The concept was definitely always there. So my question for y'all is like what's your goal? Like for us, our goal is, of course, taking this worldwide, of course, trying to do, you know, national, you know, international even, and fucking live shows. But what are your goals?
I would say with the podcast, oh man, my goal is, I mean, dang, it's one, I'm just going to say with the goal, I know it's not about me. It really is reaching millions of people that's just like me, that's going through the same thing, and just letting them know that, hey, I'm here. Jabri is here to help support you through this, you know, learning how to utilize cannabis as a tool, you know, intentionally for your wellness to improve your quality of life. And that, even if that just meaning reaching one person at a time, then that's what it's going to do. But I know that's one person at a time. It's just going to trickle over and be millions. So with that, you know, the future thoughts of this podcast is definitely, you know, like retreats, doing more wellness conferences. Because
That's right.
I don't see a lot of people that look like me when it comes to these conferences, sitting up there on the podium. You know, they're talking and they're saying, you know, cannabis is good for you. But I know sometimes in our own community, it's like, no, you know, we want to kind of see our own people, because sometimes that's just what it is. They trust people that look like them. So no, I mean, but I have to fill that gap. I mean, I've been, like I said, meditating on this thing. And the whole time it's just saying, you need to talk, you need to talk. And in my mind, I'm like, God, I don't know what I'm going to be talking about. And people like, you're Dr. Bates. I was like, yes, that's nice. I had that title, but to me, I've just learned to truly like humble myself to really meet people where they are, regardless of what my title is. And even piggybacking on you, Ruby, when you were saying, you may not know everything. And my thing is, I want to make sure I can break the content down so that even you can understand it. I know there's so many people out here, that can use the medical jargon, such as myself. Yes, I can, but that's just not where I'm at. I don't want to use medical jargon. Yes, I can spit the scientific facts. I can do that. But if you don't understand what I'm saying, then how am I reaching you? How am I helping you? And I mean, I know I ain't trying to get off tangent, but yeah.
Oh no, you on it.
Yeah,
I love everything that you just said. Wholeheartedly agree.
Oh,
And I
thank you.
think a big piece of that, like just to piggyback on what you were saying, is like the representation piece and like breaking down that stigma, which I think all of us in this room are part of doing, right? Like we are we are exhibiting what it can look like to use this plant intentionally, healthily, while still having great quality of life, while still showing up in our different roles as mothers or, whatever relationship roles that we have, work roles, all of that. Like, being able to do this and show like, this is how this plant has helped me get here. This is how this plant is a part of my lifestyle. That in and of itself, like I had a couple of posts recently that went viral, and like I'm getting people in the comments and in my DMs of talking about like, this plant has changed my life. This plant has allowed me to stick around longer. Like I've had people who are, have had thoughts of not being here anymore. And this plant has helped them connect back to themselves, help them stay here longer and live full quality of lives. And then you see stuff online, but like in the government talking about how it's still a gateway drug. Like I was looking up information about tolerance break and just like typed in cannabis in Google, which I haven't done in a long time now that I found like reliable sources, but I just wanted to see what was coming up. And the first hit was one of the National Abuse Centers, and it's talking about cannabis as a substance abuse issue. And the whole scope of the entire article, when talking about the plant, didn't bring up a single medicinal value, a single benefit that it has, was only talking about THC with the very narrow audience and scope. Like it was just reminded me of just like, that is what a lot of people are seeing. Like that is what a lot of people are still hearing and still believing. And so I go on my little rants, but it's just being out there and being
so valid.
That needed to be said. That absolutely needed to be said, because it's like again, as a mom, you know what I mean, to have someone kind of look at you and say, because you spend money on weed, you're not taking care of the children, you're not taking care of your responsibilities. And I mean, because even recently, well, not recently, but a while ago, we posted a video where they were taught, I don't know where these moms came from, but they were talking about how they smoked while they're pregnant. And, when they gave birth, that babies were treated some kind of way. They had to put like little baggies on their genitals in order to make sure that they didn't have, weed in their system. And it's like, like people really, see that vision and still see that's real. And as a mom that smokes weed, I've had to prove more than once to a CPS or whoever the fuck, like, nah, fucker, I get high and I mind my business. But best believe, before I get high, the whole house taken care of. And you ain't gonna find nobody starving in here. You're gonna find somebody telling you, oh, I didn't want that, so my mommy allowed me to go get something else, which is not something I regularly do. But you feel me what I'm saying? You're not finding an abused child. You're finding a child with choices. Abuse and choices is not the same thing. No, it's not.
Yeah, also being a regulated mom, like emotionally regulated, taking care of yourself. Like I think of cannabis and we like as an act of self-care. And as a regulated mom, you're able to show up better. Like when your cup is full, when you're taking care of yourself, you're a better mom. So this idea that it's taking away from your children or that you're, not able to show up fully is, first of all, ridiculous, but also just factually not true. Like that's
No,
not
and you know what?
I mean,
And also to that, with all due respect to those that say that, it's just like your thoughts are irrelevant. Honestly, there's no even argument on that because, and then another thing, it's like at the same time, fuck these kids. I need to make sure as a human, I'm like before anybody came out of anywhere. I am
I'm
a
just
whole
saying
human
because I buy the kids the
with
sneakers and the
complexity,
food, and I still have to buy
with
my ganja.
shit,
What is
with
this? And
some
yes, I buy my
trauma, with
ganja after
some
I buy their things. What the fuck?
there's some,
Exactly.
I'm not wired completely wired tight over here. And I'm okay with understanding. I wish I didn't need weed. Let's just put it that way. If we want to be, and to that I say, and the reason why I need it is because it helps me with my pain, my anxiety, my bouts of depression, it reminds me to slow the fuck down because my mind, I'm so neurospicy, and no one needs to diagnose me because I know what the fuck I'm working with. There's just labels on it now. But what I know is that this plant, thank God for it, has just been my friend, And so one thing I could say negative things about it here. Let's just say next, it's expensive. Okay, there's a negative. What else can I say? Uh, it's federally, they got it all fucked up federally. There's another thing I can say. When we have these discussions where we have to prove ourselves, I feel like playing that Reefer Madness video, that ridiculous shit that they had, that black and white thing, and just put a clown nose on and just go around like, and just like, you guys are fucking morons. And this is the matrix that we live in, okay? This is the part that don't make sense. Okay. Anyways, I digress because don't make me go on around.
no, I mean, I have a 3-year-old, I have a toddler, and so for me, it allows me to be, just more creative, with him, or get
Oh
down
yeah,
to his level,
Lord.
get to his, his imagination.
Matter of fact, Ruby is in that section right now with her son and her newest baby. I have my youngest is 9 years old. I can't go back. I can't go back. No.
Yeah, no, I have a 3-year-old toddler, so just trying to imagine with
Cortisol
him
levels,
and be
all
in
up there.
his world, yeah, definitely.
And how about you? Wait, because I definitely don't want to say your name wrong. That's Jabria, correct?
Jabria. Yes, it is.
Okay, that's a hot name, yes. But one thing, because even with my little simple ass name, I don't want nobody saying it wrong either. So, yeah. But how about you when it comes to motherhood? Are we thinking about it? Are we on that path already, or we just say fuck nah? We like our nephews and nieces, and we buy them gifts, and then we give them back.
Yeah. So if you had asked me even 5-6 years ago, I would have been like, yes, kids are definitely in the plans. I used to want to have 5 by 30. I really don't know what I thought I was doing, but that did not pan out. Thank goodness, because I would not have been able to be a great mom at that point. It's a hard question. I have not fully said absolutely no, never. The likelihood is very low because the way that I would want to show up as a mom, I know is going to change my entire life. It's going to change everything about how I show up and how I'm able to live. And I'm in my selfish era. So like right now, that does not sound like what I want to be doing. And because I feel that way, I don't want to have a kid and resent that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not trying to pass off any of those feelings that belong to me onto another human. So for now, I'm trying to get on my rich auntie vibes. That is the trajectory that I'm on. So we'll see if down the line, I think if anything, I would like adopt or foster things like that, because there are so many kids in this world that need homes. So that's probably the route that I would end up going if I did bring kids in.
And that would be great. Beautiful. Because we all know that, kids in foster homes and whatnot, they're being, a good percentage of them are being treated horribly, you know what I'm saying, just taken in for a check and all kind of fuck shit. So, you know what I mean, so any good person that, walks into that space and wants to take those responsibilities on, I commend them all the fucking way. You know what I mean? I gave birth to mine. Absolutely. And Lord knows I said, yeah, after the third one, I was like, yeah, I'm good. Yes, I've done it. So therefore I can shut it down. The shop can disappear now.
You know what? Shout out to my C-section sisters. Where y'all at? Raise, wherever you are. Shout out to y'all because you know what? That's the whole controversy. I don't want to get into my conspiracy theorist hats. I want to go into the fact of I didn't realize how Trump tight we at 40. You know what I'm saying? I really enjoy.
No, honestly, no, Rue, I will go with you with that all the way because I did it both ways. The first one was natural, and that shit took hours for no reason. No
Forgive me,
fucking reason.
ladies. Put me in my
You know what
place
I'm
if I'm
saying?
being out of
And
line.
literally, I know we
With
just
me.
jumped into a whole subject, but no, literally, it's like, yo, the first one was hours and hours and hours, and literally the second one and the third one, it was like snip, snip, get out the
Cut that
hospital. I was
shit
like,
open,
yes.
numb me up, cut it
I was
open,
like,
take it out.
yes, bye.
I know y'all get more money from it anyway. Y'all just let me get
I'm
that
just saying, I was
placenta.
like, goodbye. I don't want to be
With the
here.
other things. You know what I'm saying? Let me get that. That's what
Word.
I wish I could have a home birth. I wish I could have, wore a tiara as I gave birth to these motherfuckers. But it's just, hey, you know what? We're just gonna hurry up and just get through A through Z real quick. You know what I'm
Real
saying?
quick. And then we
And
gonna sit
I think
home.
that's the beauty of these spaces. However, we decide our birth journey, our birth, whatever, it's our story, right? So I have a question for you two. Queerious. That got me thinking because lately I've been like having a little hunger for some women action. So what is
I'm
our
telling
take
you,
on that?
lies. You've been having a hunger for some things. Period. Just tell the truth.
Oh, voracious. I have a voracious. Let's just say I'll keep it at that. So why the word queer into the mix?
Well, queer. Oh, I got you. Now, when it comes to the term queer, it's basically now more of an umbrella term for anyone that identifies under the LGBT plus spectrum. I mean, I know back in the day it was a negative or like a derogatory type of term, but now it's accepted as, like I said, an umbrella term.
Oh, I'm definitely queer. I just want to know what your sexuality is as it pertains to that title.
Okay.
I'm getting all
All
up in
right.
your business now.
Oh, no, that's fine. You just want to know, how do I identify? So lesbian and queer.
Yeah, I would
Okay.
identify as pansexual. So I'm open to all. It's all about what's inside, not what's down there.
I
Nice.
agree. Oh, I love that. I love that we can. Okay, so I'm going to tell you something. Even though Kai and I are, you would think we're like, we're cool, we're hip, right? We could use a lesson on, and we didn't even talk about pronouns, what I'm saying? We could use a lesson on all the etiquette, all the things, what I'm saying? So if you guys could break down to someone like your homegirls that are kind of like, we kind of old school with it. We might say something that might be offensive just because we're not with the hip, the vibe yet. You feel me? Are you guys following?
The young people lingo is what you're trying to say?
Like how can you help your sisters not be tone deaf in such a world?
Word. I like that question.
Yeah, I love that question, actually. Do you mind if I start, B? You good? Okay. So the way that I always like to break it down, and I've had my mom passed in 2020, but I used to have this conversation with her quite a bit. Just trying to break down like the different ways to look at it. And so a lot of people will mix up like gender and sexual identity and then like your actual sex that you're born with. And so most people are born with either XY or XX, which is male and female. You do have intersex, which is people who have a mix of both of those chromosomes, but that is like biological, like you were checking your male or female, versus
Real
like your
shot.
gender is the way that you present. So like if you are identified as a woman or you self-identify as a woman, that means you are presenting as what society deems as a woman, which is a very complicated, broad spectrum, but you get to identify as a woman versus identifying as a man, or in between or outside of those. So like you have non-binary, which means I'm not going to ascribe just to male or just to female. I exist outside of that idea. And so gender is a construct that we as society have made up, and therefore it has evolved to include more people in how they represent themselves and what they choose to identify with. And then you have your sexual orientation, which is completely separate from those things. And a lot of people tend to mix that up of like, well, okay, if you're a woman, you like women, like that, it's a very separate thing. So your gender is how you present, how you want people to perceive you and how you perceive yourself, versus sexual identity is who you want to fuck. Simply, it is who you are interested in sexually. So that's where you get lesbian, pansexual, bisexual, gay, all of those things.
Demisexual.
Yes, all of that is like who you are attracted to and how you want to engage with those people. And so those are kind of the three buckets that it's a little bit easier to break it down into, if that makes sense and is a little bit helpful.
You're amazing. I like how your brain works. And I can tell that you're giving a huge service to your community. I heard I don't know who said it. I think it was 19 Keys, but he said, if you want to build something big, you should build it with a Black woman. And of course, like I always had a fascination with my sisters because it's like, how on earth are you so great at everything? And then being a person that reads auras, reads colors in people, it's like, wow, you're mostly good. You're mostly like just good people that accept everybody, and that's just from a lens of a Samoan born, raised in Western society, California, and just having an appreciation for like my Mexican brothers and sisters and just realizing what they bring to the table and how we can all benefit from each other. I mean, who doesn't listen to soul music? Where do you think soul music came from? And so it's just those things where I really, I'm just so glad that we have, like, I would just say it takes a lot of courage to be able to just put yourself out there. I'm actually quite happy in my little bubble watching Netflix all day, just eating kettle corn drizzled with dark chocolate and, rubbing on my kids, their heads and just like, hey, this is the life. But like, really, when we build like this and when we talk into, you've just enlightened me. And it's like, it's not so much like you discovered something. I discovered something, but it's in the way that you say it and the respect and the respect for people's perceptions and our true differences that really strikes a chord in me and makes me want to be a better human. So thank you for that, Jabria.
Thank you for those words. I appreciate it. My biggest thing is just like I want people to understand and be able to have these conversations, because I think like you touched on, there are a lot of people who are wanting to know but like don't know who to ask without potentially offending them for even asking the question, or like don't know what questions to ask to begin with. And like I think if we could all just sit down and like talk to one another, I know that sounds so simple and like is ignoring a lot of societal factors that are very much at play, but like I think if we could get past that for a minute and just sit as people and try to learn from one another and like approach things with pure curiosity, I think we'd get a lot further.
Yeah, break down the pronouns for them too.
Oh, yes. Thank you for bringing that up. I forgot to mention that. So pronouns kind of fit into that middle bubble of your gender expression or your gender identity. And so that's where you're saying like, I identify as a man, regardless of what my sexual orientation, regardless of my biological sex, like I identify as a man. So I prefer to be called, like, I'm not saying that about me, but like I identify as a woman. So I'll talk about myself. So I prefer to be called she, her pronouns. And so that's where pronouns comes in, of how you want people to identify you, because you can self-identify however you want, but pronouns are saying, this is how I'd like you to respond to me. This is how I'd like you to identify me. And so you have he, him, his, she, her, hers, they, them, theirs. Then you have like Zier and Zem. So you have ones that are in that non-binary space outside of man and woman. So that's
Okay.
where those come from. And so you'll have people who will sometimes say like she, his, theirs. Like you have people who have multiple pronouns because they exist within all of those different identities. And so they want to be addressed and respected within those as well.
Okay.
Mm.
And thank you
Love
for
that.
that breakdown, because I'm not gonna lie. In my recent in my recent like searching for a job and whatnot, searching for a 9 to 5 plantation to be at. Yes, I call them plantations. That's what the fuck they are. Oh, okay, let's return to what I was saying. So yes, in my search for the 9 to 5 plantations, I've noticed that in the applications, they'll ask you, okay, what do you identify, male or female? I'll check female. Then they'll be like, okay, so what's your sexual orientation? Okay, so it's like, okay, I look around and find heterosexual. Hit that, and then the next question is like, what are your pronouns? And by then, I ain't gonna lie. By then, I'm kind of aggravated because it's like, bruh, how many times you gonna ask me if I'm a girl and I like and never mind the fact, is this any of your business? Like,
Yeah, a job should not be asking your
like,
sexual.
what the fuck that got to do with my direct deposit player? Because on fact, that's the only thing I was worried about, my direct deposit and when it's gonna hit. You feel me?
That's right.
Like why you worried about what, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? So I think like that's the only. And then there was like one application that said cisgender woman, cisgender man, and I literally had to Google like cis woman. What the fuck is that? Oh,
Yeah.
woman
So I think
was
there's
okay, that's me. That's me. That's me. Check. You know what I'm saying?
it is a
Like
lot
to
that
me,
you have to.
it's since this whole. I mean, I'm not hating, but at the same time, it's like for me. It's kind of gone away in certain ways. Like especially like I said in job applications. Like fucker, you don't need to know who I like, what kind of pum pum I may have, or that's not your business. Where's the direct deposit and how much will it be? You know what I mean?
No, I definitely hear that point. And I think that first of all, no job should ever be asking you your sexual orientation. That's against equity. What is it? EEO, equity, equal opportunity employment. So EOE. They should never ask you that. And I think I hear that a lot from people, like when you're having to like consistently self-identify as all these different things, it is a lot. I think the reason that exists is because they want to be as inclusive as possible. And so there are some people where like you look at them and they may present as what we understand to be a woman, but they do not identify that way. And so this gives them an opportunity to fully identify as who they are. And so I totally get the like, this is a lot of information that they don't really need to know. And that's true. And I wholeheartly agree with that. They be up in your business. And I do think it's important
I
to
mean,
allow
literally, and it's not all of them. It's definitely not all of them, but it's like, but I've bumped into it more than once, to the point where even when the clouds are clouding, I still remember that. Wait, how many times I'm gonna tell you what the and you still ain't give me a job yet? Like, why are you asking me all these questions?
Yeah, I think it's trying to hit all those different bubbles, which it went on some level. It's like, why can't we just be who we are? Like, why can't we just, I am
No,
me? Like, why do we need
that's what
to
I was gonna
identify
say,
with boxes?
because I mean, that's part of it too, is, we always feel like we are always coming out. It's like, for what? It's like, I already told you one time, and then I got to tell you again. And I shouldn't have to tell you at all, because if identify as hetero, how many times do you have to come out? That one time, great. I should just have to say, yes, I'm lesbian, and move on with it. But no, that's not what it is. It's like you got to keep reliving it, just as aggravating that you feel, as far as the aggravation with answering all those questions. We feel the same way when we always have to keep coming out. And then here comes more stereotypes once we do come out. Like, so what is the point? And then
Exactly.
I'm sorry. Another thing too is like, even with my son, it's like now, trying to figure out how do we teach him to go about it, when it comes to the different pronouns. Are we
Word,
gonna still tell
word.
people you have to say yes, ma'am, yes, sir, or do you just call them by their name? Or like, how are we moving with this? I mean, it's just so many different labels, so many things. It's like sometimes just people just want to be. That's it.
And then like I said, there's a level of I get what you're saying. There's definitely a level of yes, we want to be inclusive to all of us, to everyone that we employ here. But at the same time, it also gives a level of you trying to be all up in my business, and you don't need to be all up in my business. You know what I mean? And then secretly, you could be using that as some kind of discrimination tactic, like, oh, I only want to hire a couple of these, or or a couple, you know what I'm saying?
They're gathering
Like,
data for a
like,
reason.
100%.
right, because it's not like a lot of the applications that have gone to that, length have given you the choice of no, I don't prefer to answer. Only a few of them.
Right.
Most of them literally tell you got to answer all of these questions.
Yeah,
And
the
it's
more
like,
you have to
again,
self-identify.
you could be
Yeah.
using it to discriminate against me.
100%. Yeah, I hate anytime any kind of application is like, what's your race? What's your gender? What's any of that? Because I'm like, how do I know you're not using it against me? Second of all, why do you need to know when the goal is for me to perform XYZ job? If I've demonstrated I can perform XYZ job, these other identifiers should not be coming into place. But yeah, no, it's definitely very invasive, and they definitely use it to screen people out for sure.
And it's funny how like in the housing, thank God there's something called fair housing. I'm sure you're well aware of it. And so there's things in place. What things in place have you been able to see politically for the community that you never thought you would see?
That's a tough one because right now it feels like the community is very much under attack in terms of political legislation. There are bills and laws being passed in states, especially in the South, but it's starting to creep up north too. But there have been bills and laws passed against transgender kids, transgender adults, abort, like any sort of sexual reproduction protection, any employment protection. A lot of those bills have been repealed or taken back. Like they have undone some of the progressive legislation that they have had in place for LGBTQ safety. And so that's a tough question to answer right now because it feels like everything that's coming out is the opposite, is them taking away our rights and limiting access and limiting safety.
And I'm pretty sure you see. I mean, of course, you live in the United States, so a certain level of privileges are afforded here. But in other countries, I'm sure you hear about how, you know what I mean. And I mean, even in like places like Jamaica, where it's like, I've heard that it's more accepted, but at the same time, there's still laws there, and then it wasn't like a couple of months ago they were talking about certain countries in Africa straight up, talking about death sentence and whatnot. So it's like what, like how does that affect y'all, you as a as a person, if you do travel outside of the United States, like is that something that you look out for, like when before you plan a trip, you like, hold on, let's figure out if what I'm saying, if we gotta stay
You got
stay
to
next to the
hide it back in
American
the
embassy
closet.
or something, because you know what I'm saying? Because we don't know what the fuck we going, find. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah,
how
no.
it have you had to deal with that?
Yeah, no, I mean, most definitely. When we do, my wife and I, when we travel places, we would just try to see, where are the, LGBT friendly hotels or even the restaurants, or at least just like their own little neighborhood. Like, where can we go so we are safe? And if we know that we're in places that, they don't care for us too much, then, we just act accordingly. It sucks. You can't be your authentic self and have fun, but at the same time, that just means they don't deserve our money, so we're not going to go.
That's right.
Yeah, no, because I actually just
Word.
got back from London where I was officiating my friend's wedding, which was phenomenal. Um,
Nice.
Beautiful.
Congratulations. That
thank
must have
you.
been fun.
Um, but it was, first of all, as a black, fat, queer woman, like I am never socially safe. Those are all things that I am constantly like, at
That's
what
so glorious, though. I
um,
know.
but definitely traveling and things like that, like I'm always looking like, do they like us and do they like us? Like are definitely different. You know, we got the loose wrist club. But yeah, I
know
definitely
about it.
searching everywhere I go. Like, am I going to be safe? Because it's not even
Word.
like, am I gonna enjoy it? Are people gonna be mean to me? It's like, no, am I gonna have to worry about being physically safe in this space?
Oh, you
It's
know
it's
what? Thank you for saying that, Jabria, because okay, I'm gonna come clean right now, okay? Because this is relevant. I tend to tell on myself a lot on this podcast. So, anywho, long story short, I had to ask myself, do I fetishize women, or do I truly am I open to building a relationship, knowing that us queens have our needs? And I had to stop hollering at women because I feel like her feelings aren't safe here. That was terrifying. You know, who wants to admit to themselves that they have predatory tendencies? You know?
No, but you look at it this way, girlfriend. Look at it this way. Telling yourself the truth is growth. You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
Admitting the truth to yourself is growth. You know what I'm saying? Looking at yourself and having, you know what I'm saying, you seeing something that you know you cannot do or you can't take on and you call it out bolt straight like that, no sugar, no fucking honey.
we be looking good, man. Let's just say that, okay?
That's growth. That's fucking growth. That's, you know what I'm saying? That's knowing thyself. Therefore, you know what I'm saying? Now, if you go ahead and holler at a chick after knowing that, see, that's you fucking up. That's you fucking up. No.
no, that
you
takes
learn
self-awareness,
to listen, move on.
introspection, accountability, honesty, vulnerability. Like, those are all big things to do. A lot of people don't do that. A lot of people do not sit and think about in what ways could I be perpetuating something or harming someone or anything like that. So I give applause for the self-awareness and introspection to even have that realization, let alone the vulnerability to share it with us. So you're on
You
the
know,
right track for sure.
I appreciate you. Okay, and here's the thing, right? Having not a victim, but a survival of sexual abuse too. There's that perception where it's like you can't do that shit. Okay, it's not even like a moral compass now. It's like, bitch, don't do this shit because you know you didn't like when it was done to you. Just that's it. You know, and
Word.
so there are layers because and then there's more accountability because it's like, come on, I have all the feels too. I be feeling bad when people don't call me after sex. Hell yeah, that sucks. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's not a gender thing, that's a human nature thing. And so like I'm just saying, and
Absolutely.
so
Human
thank you for
decency.
being a safe space
Word,
here,
human
you know?
decency. I mean, remember, the it was just the other day. Ruby was on another show, and one of the subjects, because I was listening, was just human decency, and literally, it was like one person was literally saying that human decency is within us, like we as people can, you know what I'm saying, make the right decision to you know, do right by people, do right by everyone around us. You know what I'm saying? And then there was another person on the other end was like, you ever see people do that shit for real? And he was just on some shit like fuck it. I don't see nobody else doing it. And so why the fuck I gotta do it? And it's like, bruh, you got like, nah, you like, the fact is karma and all that shit come back, and at the end of the day, as a human person, your own brain will dead ass will check you when you wrong, like when nobody else is around. Your own brain gonna be like, you know, you fucked up when you was talking to that person and you said some shit that you shouldn't have said because that wasn't, and what, the human decency is within you. That's is making that happen. That's what making that conversation come out, because you know within yourself, okay, yes, that's wrong. I shouldn't do that. No matter, even if I never felt like that, even if nobody ever made me feel like that, there's no way I should willfully go forth with making somebody feel in some type of way, knowing damn well that shit is wrong. Nah.
And you know what's wild about it is that so many people will not listen to that voice. So many people hear that voice because you're absolutely right. Like when you are by yourself, you're telling yourself some stuff, you're hearing the full truth, and a lot of people just be like, yeah, I'm gonna do it anyway. Like that's the part for me.
So guilty. I'm so guilty though of a lot of that.
It's so true. And so I always like to, anytime someone is able to hear that voice and listen to it and actually make a change, kudos, because that is not everybody out here doing that. It's hard. It's not even that everybody's not doing it.
It's hard, and not everybody's out here doing it. But and really,
yeah, my phone be dry.
The goal I was that it needs to be done. Like even if you don't see nobody else doing it, you got to do it. Like you know what I'm saying? Because again, shit, it happens to me all the time. My own brain would be like, yeah, I saw that. You know what I'm saying? The fuck, and shit. Because you know, depending on the kind of person, I mean, really, I guess, yeah, that's probably it. It's got to be depending on the kind of person that you is. If you're the kind of person that just says, fuck whatever my inner voice is saying, I'm gonna do whatever the fuck I want to, and whatever whatever happens, then I guess you'll see what happens. But even as that happens, your brain will be like, you see word? Okay, so as it's happening, I'm gonna be the one telling you I told you so. Like I'm gonna be the first nigga to tell you I told you so, nigga. What? What? The fuck? Stupid ass. Cause your own brain will be like, stupid ass. Word. Word. But no, ladies, all right, so I guess the main thing I want to talk about is so what kind of guests do we have on our show or on your podcast, as far as like what's your main discussion topics?
Of course, we're always talking about cannabis. So the main like goal of it is, yes, talking about cannabis, but cannabis for wellness, intentionally using it as medicine, to help you, whether it's with your anxiety, to help you with your pain or whatever the case may be, so that you can, just enjoy life. But other topics too, we definitely, come season 2, we will be doing a lot more interviews and shining other people's story. That's the only way other people can learn, is through other people's experiences. If you don't share your story, that's your testimony. You have to share it. They say that, in the church, share your testimony. So like it's whatever, for me, is whatever's game, whether we're talking about moms and cannabis, or you even talking about kids and cannabis, or if you're talking about, PTSD and cannabis, mental health issues, women issues, cardiovascular, respiratory, like we can talk about the whole system. You got skin issues and you use cannabis to take off the skin cancer. Oh, we gonna talk about it.
Nice. That's what's up.
Oops, sorry, I didn't mean to cut
That's phenomenal.
Oh, no, go ahead. I was just saying that's what's up, because we need conversations like that. Never mind the fact that, every avenue that is open through, the legality of cannabis as it's being, legalized, we damn sure should be the ones to take advantage of it, especially because we're the ones that made the shit exist in the first place. Hello. Women, because even at the CWCB Expo, the Cannabis Means Business Expo that happened in New York this week, and one of the things was discussed that yes, the legalization of women was led by the legalization of weed was led by women. So yes, the fuck, we should be the main ones having these conversations.
But at the same time, I'm gonna go, even a step above that, is because even the LGBT community, we pretty much like laid the whole foundation for the whole Proposition 215, out in California, to get medical cannabis legalized. So,
That's
it was one of us, a gay man. It was his partner back in the war on drugs and the whole HIV AIDS, thing that was going on. So yeah, no, it was definitely us that laid that foundation to have medical cannabis legalized. And a lot of people don't
Word.
even know that.
Which is why we need more
Exactly.
representation. So many people don't know that history. So many people don't know queer voices in the space, let alone Black women in the space, let alone Black folks in the space. You know what I mean? Like all of those identities are
And
very
trans as well.
yes,
And
exactly.
exactly, exactly. And to be honest, I feel the reason why our voices are kind of, not being quieted, but it's just that they're being overshadowed by big business in cannabis. Because big business in cannabis is a lot of white men. If they're white women in it, they're again, y'all are doing the benefits. Y'all are gaining all the benefits, and 9 times out of 10, y'all don't smoke weed. Y'all don't give a fuck about weed. Y'all don't intake weed in any way, shape, or form. But you damn sure love the profit. And here in New York City, I'm not sure what state y'all are in, but here in New York City, they're literally building the plane as the plane is flying, because they started they started the rules of legalized cannabis a certain way, with charging certain fees, and then as people got in, people are paying their fees and applying and whatnot. They're accepting and turning down, and then they creating new rules as they're accepting and turning down. So it's like there's still a fight. There's still a fight, and then of course we still have states that all they have is medical, so they don't give a fuck about recreational. You know what I'm saying? So they'll still lock you up for recreational. Never mind the motherfuckers sitting in jail looking at us on Facebook and on kind of social media like this, like, oh shit, look at that. They walking past police and smoking, and I'm in here for what? You know what I mean? So these avenues that we create definitely have to continue and exist in order so to have those conversations and whatnot, to include those conversations. I mean, what's your take on this whole? Because like I said, like that's something that we all should definitely have an opinion about and fight, and definitely fight and discuss about the fact that right now in 2024 we smoking weed freely. We could walk in anybody's dispensary. You know what I'm saying? But yes, in other states there's they either taxing it ridiculously, or they still got people locked up because it's only medical. What's your take on that?
Sorry, we were I was trying to see if she's going to go first. I try to educate people so much about the history of this plant, especially when it comes to the social justice piece of it. And this is what I think a lot of people don't realize about the history of it. So, quick context, up until the 1930s, and I can't remember if it's 1932, 5, or 7, but in the 1930s, you could buy cannabis in pharmacies. It was literally in the pharmacopoeia for the United States and in the UK at the time as well. But against medical approval, so against the pharmacists' vote about whether cannabis should be legal or not, they decided to make it illegal. And the reason that they did that, not was because weed was a gateway drug, not because people were going crazy and all the shit that they showed in Reefer Madness, but because these industries like big pharma, big lumber, big cotton were threatened by the potential of cannabis.
Exactly.
They literally were like, hold up, they're about to mess up our bottom line. Like, this plant is about to take over. We can't have that, not because of medicinal value, not because of the actual use and benefit of the plant, but because of straight up greed and capitalist gain. And so they monopolize, not monopolize, what's the word? They use the racism that was already very present against a lot of the Mexican immigrants that had just come in post-Mexican Revolution.
Exactly.
So they used the racism already present, started calling it marijuana, and wrote it incorrectly and all this kind of stuff. Like, they genuinely were like, let's capitalize this racism that's present. And they're like, that's how we're going to get people, the public audience, to turn its back against this plant. Even though, again, you could buy it in pharmacies. White women were using this stuff all the time. Everyone was using it because it's medicine. But they were like, nope, we're scared. We want to keep our coins. So let's, get them against Black folks and Mexicans. I already hate them. So let's use that racism and turn people against. Like, it's crazy. It was so calculated. It was so well done. And that's why I have such an issue with this rescheduling piece, because what rescheduling from level 1 to level 3 is doing is just giving big pharma a better chance to get in the industry. Like, it's giving them a head start. It's giving big bank a head start. And that is why I just cannot. We need to deschedule. Descheduling is the only way to get this plant not only in front of people safely and with accessibility, but to get people out of jail for stuff that, like you said, you and I are doing safely, freely on a day-to-day basis. Sorry, that was a rant.
Oh no, that was amazing. That's the education that we need. That I couldn't have ever. I don't think we could have explained it like that. And I'm with you 100%. Now,
Word.
I have a question with regards to what can one do in that regard? Like, knowing all that you've just said, what could we do? Let's say we have a friend that's in jail for weed right now. What do you think is the best approach on a human level to help those that are experiencing this? Because there's few times that I've experienced some sort of privilege in my life. And this is what white privilege must feel like. Being able to smoke weed while people are in jail.
Girl, let me tell you something. And this is another perfect situation where I bring up the cannabis expo that I was at just a couple of days ago. Again, one of the speakers was Kim, her name is Kim B. I'm not sure if you've heard of her, but she's big with the expo, and she works with Work and Roll, and I think the name of her company is Tribe Tokes. She even mentioned while on stage she's doing her speech, and she mentioned that yes, that she was selling nickel bags for a good minute, and then she started moving weight, and then she got caught at somebody's San Francisco airport, and it was because of her white privilege that she was allowed to walk away. And Chad, when I caught that on tape, I was like, yeah, I'm glad you said that out loud, because it's not like they don't know. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, they know. You know what I mean? Anytime these people try to front like, oh, we like white privilege doesn't exist and I don't use white privilege. Yes, the fuck you do. Yes, the fuck you do. And you know what I'm saying? So it's definitely and y'all can see Ruby. Ruby don't look like no Samoan. Ruby looks definitely like a
I
white
definitely
woman.
look Samoan, girl. What you talking about?
You look like a white woman. So the fact is that the fact is that you can absolutely get on a plane and look at them and go, what? Oh, I didn't even know that was there. What? Stop playing and let you walk the fuck away. But my black ass, they'd be like, girl, where you going? No, I think you have. We're going to search everything. No, because we see you, we see your hair, we know you must have like at least 3 keys. No, you have 3 keys, and we're going to search everything. We're going to search every fucking thing.
I just had an experience coming back from London where I was with 2 of my friends who were also Black, and we were getting in the London Heathrow airport, and one of the security guards came over and stopped my friend's husband and was like trying to get up in his bag and was like, what you got there? Where you going? Where you headed? Where you coming from? Da, 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 da. And we were just like, of all the people walking off this plane, we're the ones you stopped, and here's who's the one, like, you know what I mean? Like, that was just like such a blatant moment of just like object racism. And it was too. And I was like, homie, that's always, anyway, that's a tangent, but that was a surprise.
That'd be the worst part, honey. That'd be the worst part, because I tell you, up to this day, I mean, it was years ago when my youngest was a little baby. I mean, literally, they tried to literally break her fucking stroller. I was looking at them like, what the fuck you think you're gonna find? Because I was looking at them, and it got to a point where I said, listen, I'm finna smoke when I get where I'm getting to. So I wouldn't bring none with me. Put it back together, please. Because literally, this motherfucker took the stroller apart. I was like, what? What you looking for?
Okay,
Like, bruh,
Mr. Renacop.
smoke when I get to where I'm
Yeah.
going to. I ain't bringing it with me.
Okay, you know what? When you guys talk about when you break down the whole like what's it called? The identifying and the, as it relates to being separate things. I think you're gonna help a lot of people. And because I don't have the words to say it as well as you did, but all I can say is that in my culture, we do recognize a third gender, which we refer to as a fafafinge, who is and when it comes to the fafafingas that we raise, in our homes, those are the ones that are there through thick and thin. They're the ones holding it down, cooking meals, helping with, helping the kids, for whatever, taking care of the kids and everything like that. And so there's like more of a spiritual connotation behind that. It isn't like someone's sexuality. It's more of their spirit and their aura that we recognize as a goddess, regardless of what they were born with on the outside. And so, like, my people's just like that. You know what I mean? And then it's confusing because I'm scratching my head. Like, dang. From an immigrant standpoint, it's like, okay, I thought it was a little open. When they say free, it's like, what is free really? You know what I mean? And so it's like, dang, mom, maybe I should go back and tend to our land back there and just grow some coconuts and just send it back, and we can like do some, business deal, and I'll just lay in my hammock tending to our land, because I think we had it right back there. Not to say that we're superior. No, hell no. But in the sense, it's like my people's has when we just talk about going back to nature. And so that's why with all of these like political campaigns and these workshops and trying to get people on, the same narrative, it is a lot of work, and it does seem exhausting, but not as exhausting as trying to relay to people on how to just be a human being. Like, we're literally teaching people how to be human being, or excuse me, not human beings. We're kind of teaching them a sense of humanity, empathy, things that I think do have to be developed, especially when there's so much conditioning to be such an asshole. And if you're in America, it's almost cool to be an asshole out here. And it's like, when the fuck, what?
Well, it
Why?
absolutely gets clicks. It's definitely the clickbait. To be an asshole is definitely the biggest
I
clickbait.
could be an
And
asshole,
the
but in
fact
other
is,
ways, not to ruin someone's day.
right. And then the thing, is that, you know what I'm saying? COVID, the whole COVID era, the fact that we had to literally, say somebody called it, we took a nap for 2 years. Unwanted motherfucking nap. But you know what I'm saying? We took we took a nap for 2 years, and in that nap, social media and the news and everything that we take, electronically, was trying to literally just infused a whole bunch of depression, and be by yourself, and don't tell nobody your feelings, and be strong amongst all of that shit, or just keep your feelings to yourself. If you depressed, fuck you. Or just, if you depressed, just unalive yourself. And I feel like that's the main thing that's out here. Like, that's the main thing. Like, don't be satisfied with how you look. Change it. Don't be, try to live up to the Joneses, and scam and do this and do that. Like, and no matter what, it just do it for whatever amount of money. It don't matter what it is. Even if it's somebody urinating on you for 500,000, take that 500,000 and let it happen. You know what I mean? It's like society in itself has been pushing that fucking narrative since COVID, and just really infusing it into all of us. And so the main goal fighting past that and staying positive and loving yourself and you know, trying to improve yourself and you know, doing things that make you feel good and moving on and trying to, you know, doing good amongst, you know, your people and shit. That shit is that shit is not getting clicks. That shit is not getting, nobody's watching that. Nobody gives any fucks about that. You know what I'm
And
saying?
that's
So
like that's my reason for like I was just gonna
word, no,
say
go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say that was like my reason for actually getting into the cannabis space. You know, it's like
Word.
with the whole pandemic with COVID, you know, now all these people have anxiety, all these people have depression, you know, like their pain got worse, you know, because now they sitting in four walls, can't move, don't want to do nothing. And it's like now I'm writing prescriptions all the time. Like, okay, they say, well, this ain't working, this ain't working. Then I'm into the controlled substances, and it's like, well, here, take this Ambien. Here you go. Here's this Xanax. Here you go. Here's this, you know, hydrocodone. And it was like just so much. And it was like, no, what is happening? Everybody's like quality of life has truly decreased when it came to the pandemic. And it's like, no, it got to be something different, you know. And now I really want to work with people, you know, within that wellness space, you know, like getting back to like at least who you were before. For those who never even had anxiety, you know, it was people who they didn't recognize it. Or maybe now, you know, COVID has now they recognize it, but now it's worsened, you know, and it got worse.
Exactly. It's
So
amplified
Thank
based on.
God.
yeah.
Thank God that you are doing what you're doing. You and more doctors need to be having this conversation, and lawyers that are not selling out and being bought out. We just
Yeah,
need
this
people of
conversation needs to
integrity to be
be
standing in these
recognized.
powerful spaces.
Word, this conversation needs to be recognized because it's like,
Absolutely.
yo, like, yo, I feel it within myself. Like, yo, I gotta push myself to be positive, push myself to feel good and have hope. And it's not, and I'm not getting hope from, you know, things around me. I'm getting it from me because it's like, you know what I mean? What's around me is trying to make me feel like nah, fuck it, you give up. And it's like, nah, fuck that, nah. I can't give up. Never mind the fact I shit. Yes, the 27-year-old is 27 and in somewhere in her life, but there's still a 15 and a 9. Hello. Hello. No.
That's right. Can I ask you guys? I gotta ask you some silly questions now. We've been too serious for too long, and I think we've warmed up. So, the juices are flowing. I just learned of pardon me for not remembering what this kink is, but it was a kink in which people get off on the sounds of flatulation. And so I was like, someone made 50K off of this kink, right? It's, you know, just weird shit that people are into and who's to say what's weird? Okay, excuse me. Let me be politically correct, right? So what
Yeah, let's
kink
just say I
have
wouldn't be
you
into
two? Okay, okay. No, you don't gotta be into that, you know what I'm saying? But like, what kinks have you all, this is a question for all of y'all, have you all developed in the last 2 years that you never thought you would ever participate in? That's a good ask question. Mm.
Well, I would say we have a toddler that still sleeps in our bed. So trying to do anything kinky right now, that's a hard no.
That just mean y'all got to do it in the kitchen or something. You know what I'm saying?
Y'all gotta sneak out the bed and whatnot.
The best is it. Maybe it's around. How about? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so loud. I'm at the. What? Anybody else?
For it. I'm here for it. So I just got out of a relationship. I was with my partner for a couple of years. And I can't say anything developed during that time. There is a brand, I'm really putting my business out here. There is a brand of toys that I recommend based off of experience that's called Levins. And the reason that I like them is that you can like remote control them from anywhere. And you can like wear them out. There's like a lot of different things that you can do with them. So I'm gonna put it like that. That's something I would recommend for folks, and something that I have enjoyed.
Oh, wait a minute, because I've seen certain videos where, you know what I'm saying, was she wearing it, and all of a sudden he just turned it on in the most inappropriate times, and she like, bass stop. Bass stop, bass stop. And I was just like, girl, nah, I couldn't give my husband that kind of power, because I promise you,
gotta
he
really
would do
trust
the same thing to me. No, he would wait patiently for, the most, and just hit me, and I'd be like, see, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? Because you play too much. No.
He getting his money's worth. That's what that is.
No, I'm glad you even brought that up, because I was like, okay, I know, yes, we got the toddler, can't be as kinky and all that, but no, I mean, we do have full toys like that. So no, I'm glad you brought that up. Ha, thanks.
Nice. I'm gonna need you to like break down how to spell that, because I'm gonna need that. That sounds amazing, especially for the long distance relationship. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, a little LDR.
I mean, shoot.
Okay.
I mean, shoot, I'm pretty sure remote come. What was it? What could
remote
it be called?
panties from everywhere, pretty much.
Remote
That's
panties.
what I'm hearing.
Remote panties, yes.
Whatever vibrating panties
yes.
that work from anywhere. That, dude, what's better than that?
Yeah, Lovin's has a wide variety of toys as well. They have like an app that's very robust. An app. They have one where you can like, it's called Speed. So if you're like in a car and like the car speeds up, like it'll ramp up with the speed of the car. You can like sync it with music. You can sync it, like you can talk to people online and sync it with them. Like you can play games and sync it to the game. There's a lot of things you can do with it.
Oh my goodness, the creativity is real. I love it. I applaud whoever the fuck created that. No.
Good job.
Maybe you could sponsor an episode, because
I'm buying some stock in that company, by the way.
I'm just saying,
what about
these people are very nice. These people are very creative.
Oh shit. I'm surprised. I'm sure I want to think of something like that, but whatever. I applaud. How about you, Queen? Don't try to dodge the question now. It's for you too, Queen Kai. What kind of kinky shit you like, girl?
I'm just saying. First of all, you be trying to get me killed. See, this is the point of the conversation that people don't understand, is that he don't watch every episode, but he will now and then. And let me say something real quick. Remember you said this with a whole screenshot. I don't have time for this. I don't have time for him to be upset when, you know what I'm saying? So I try to keep it light. But no shit, man, listen. Kinky is just being able to get it in when it's not even kinky. It's the funniest shit be happening when we in the middle of thinking it's 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, and we in the middle of doing us, and then all of a sudden we hear doors cracking and whatnot, and we like, oh, the children are awake. And that's when you try to be quiet, but then it's like you was already making noise because you thought everybody was asleep. But no, people are cracking doors talking about they need to pee. No, they need to pee. All of a sudden, you need to pee now? Okay. All right, go pee. No, go pee.
Sounds like there's no hope. This just keeps going as they get older. So we have a long ways to go.
I mean, listen. I live in New York City. And therefore, I've never had an apartment large enough where they're at the west end and I'm at the east end. No, it don't go like that. You know what I'm saying? And then, walls is thin, this and that. People can hear you. I mean, we try to be respectful, wait till 1, 2, 3 o'clock. But you all of a sudden need to pee at 3 o'clock in the morning. I don't like that. But go ahead if you must.
All right. I guess it's only fair. You know, I don't have that problem. I mean, I guess it depends, right? It depends on if I wake up before the kids, or if I find some time and I'm just digging it out. That's kind of, I guess. But I have developed some, but see, that's a kink in itself, like trying to be as quiet as possible, you know what I'm saying? In the full
No lie, because again, you try to be as quiet, and let's say body parts are talking. What the fuck? If the body parts are talking,
boom,
and they making noise, then why can't I? You know what I'm saying? Wait a minute. What the fuck?
And I've developed a couple of them that I'd like to share with you guys as well. Nothing too crazy, but I've been more fascinated with the thought of feet.
Girl.
I get it now. Whereas before I was like, all right, well, cool, whatever. And now it's like, oh yeah.
When you say feet,
like
we talk feet in the face, or
licking and sucking them. I eat in my mouth, like all in my mouth.
Ooh, yeah, no.
All in my, yeah. If once I get in a serious relationship, I will be eating the groceries back there too again, but I can't just give that pleasure to everybody. I like the sensation to get it, and I like to give it. And also,
I agree.
And something I hadn't discovered, but I'm wild about, is just doing non-sexual objects. Like I was watching some chick kind of hump like a really nice coffee table. It was so hot. Right?
What? Oh shit!
I'll have to send you the link. It was
Girl,
hot.
send me the damn link. I'm all right.
It was a nice coffee table at that. Good taste, you got good taste and stuff. I like that. And then another thing is I'm sorry, one moment. Children present. 1 second. Give me a minute. We're gonna go soon.
We gotta pee it down.
Yeah. So another thing that I've realized is CNC.
Wait,
you know what that is?
CNC.
It's
consensual, non-consensual.
Thank you for saying it for me.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, because I'm just like, girl, I don't know none of these things. As an old woman, what?
Yeah. So it's targeted. Okay, I'm gonna since this is a safe space, it's targeted to my sexual abuse, but it's kind of where I take power back, but I do it in a safe space to where I can let go, because there was a time where I couldn't get off until I thought about my a situation that involved sexual abuse.
Oh wow! Word.
You know what I'm saying? Okay. So that's the joy that I find in just exploring my kinks. It's a safe space, and I feel free. It's obviously not a play that I'm going to be able to do with anybody. Like, it's not a first date type of experience. But it thrills me, and I think that, let's say somebody who has that puzzle piece, who deals with issues in that way, that would be kind of a perfect piece. You know what I mean? It takes a lot of discussion, and it takes being real with yourself to kind of admit that. I had a partner actually who had those tendencies. That's probably why we're not together today, but he would get off on that, whereas I would, and I didn't know what it was called. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Understanding yourself, knowing yourself, that is definitely big. That's what's up.
Freaky baby. I'm just kidding. That was horrible. Don't let me do that again.
Girl, you always be wilding sometimes, and I always just let you lose yourself and then get back to yourself. Okay.
So I live in
Yes,
Portland,
indeed,
Oregon, and
ladies.
I tend to be very eclectic out here.
Oh yes, I mean, come on now. You got to be a little bit spicy in the blandest place in the world. Now, I shouldn't say all that because I mean, I ain't never been to Portland, but
They like, you
see,
have
the
an
thing
idea.
is, me and Ruby, we met in Seattle. We used to live in Seattle, and while I lived there and liked it, I liked a certain part of it. There was definitely a part of it that kept, calling me back to the East Coast because I like flavor. You know what I'm saying? Yes, if you ever been to New York, you probably saying to yourself, also you like the rats and the subways and all that fuck shit. Yeah, I get it. We got some shit that we need to work on. I saying fine. What are we talking about? But for me culturally, Seattle didn't have it. Seattle definitely was on some very very much bland shit, and I know when it comes to
Times 10.
Portland, I'm pretty sure it's the same shit. So you know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure it's the same
I'm
shit.
doing it
So
for my kids, you know what I mean?
basically, but wait, I don't remember if we asked y'all where y'all from.
I'm from
I'm in.
Virginia. Oh, sorry.
Oh no, you good. I mean, I'm originally from Virginia, but I reside in North Carolina now.
Okay,
Okay.
and Jabri, how about you?
Yeah, so I'm in Richmond, Virginia. Born and raised.
Okay. And so how the cannabis laws in Virginia, like what how are they doing it?
Yeah, so right now it is
They're playing
right. It's legalized, but there's no market for adult use. So medicinal use is like you can get a med card, and we have medical dispensaries. We were trying, the infrastructure was supposed to be built out, I think, starting July of last year, but we have a very conservative governor in office right now who is very anti-cannabis for dumbest reasons ever. And it is, I went to a lobbying day and was talking to some of the legislatures, and they were just talking about like there's no way anything is going to get approved under this current leadership. So at this point we're kind of riding it out. There actually was a bill that was up that just got knocked down. Shout out to Marijuana Justice, who is
Marijuana justice.
yes. Oh, we also didn't answer that question about like ways or things that you can do.
Please, yeah.
But definitely accounts to follow. I would definitely start with like Last Prisoner Project. They do a lot of work just like advocating for people who have been convicted for cannabis. They organize lobby days. They were a part of National Cannabis Festival, and they did a bunch of different advocacy events leading up to that. So definitely try to participate in like national events, but also like in a state and even like precinct level, not precinct, but like your living area level. You definitely need to be advocating, talking to legislatures, try to find different lobby days and things that you can kind of like join that are already being creative. I'm sure that there are other organizations similar to Marijuana Justice, probably in different states. I know that the organization here, the Chelsea Higgs Wise runs, has been a huge part of a lot of legislation that's been passed in Virginia and part of why it's even legal now. But other ways, right now we are in the public comment what's it called, like the public comment timeline, where you can right now, because Biden has passed the rescheduling from Schedule 1 to Schedule 3. So right now is the public comment period. So we can give feedback to what we think about this being passed and really pushing more for decriminalization, which would allow for people to be released from jail and expungement and all of things.
That's right. Dr. Bates said, "Free my weed, man."
Oh, yes.
Yeah, we actually also what you call it, follow that channel on Instagram. Definitely we have definitely have spoken to in previous shows that we had in one of our previous seasons. We had a conversation with an upcoming lawyer that is definitely working on changing the whole spectrum of, getting people help that are, that are locked up for weed for right now for no reason, never mind, you know what I mean? So we absolutely have definitely, and minorities for medical marijuana. I think
Ooh, shout out to them. We met them at the
we
conference, Queen.
definitely are subscribed to follow them on Instagram as well,
Oh
because
yeah,
because
amazing
first
queen.
of all, one thing we have done as a podcast is connected with a lot of different cannabis businesses, and definitely advocates, social social advocacy is definitely big on our plate, because hello, you know what I mean, because for me, especially on the East Coast, and having, experience what it's like on the West Coast, because that's one thing, Portland definitely is one of the states that's on the West Coast that's doing it right as far as cannabis and how it's handled and distributed and everything of that nature and regulated and everything. So, you know, being on the East Coast, I understand New York is definitely about that paper. They definitely they don't give the first thing they want is that paper. So no matter what it is, so now that it's an industry here, it's like, at first it was just like, okay, it's recreational, and then they was they was doing it one way, then now they're doing it a different way, and then of course next year it's going to be a whole different way, and it's all about, like you said, it's all about who's in these, in these conversations with legislature, and in order to actually speak for us that are being affected by these laws and shit. Because it's like right now in New York, they shutting down all of the smoke shops that don't have licenses, but at the same time, a lot of them opened because they was looking at them like, first of all, you don't even got these rules right. You don't even got it together. And then at the same time, you still asking me for ridiculous shit. Like, I'm a drug dealer. I was selling this shit when it was illegal. And so therefore, you asking me to prove I paid taxes, nigga? I never paid taxes of a day in my motherfucking life. Fuck you mean? This store, how I got this store, I paid the landlord his rent money, and he took the rent money because cash rules everything around me. Cream, get the money, dollar, dollar. What the fuck? What we doing?
Those
What we
are real
doing?
feelings.
Why am I supposed to wait for you to give me some paper so I can feed my family? Nigga, nah, nigga, nah, nigga. I went and got it. I went and paid the landlord. The landlord took my money. The landlord get paid every month on time. That's what's up. Customers is coming in, they buying, they moving on. That's where I'm at with it. You feel me? So right now, and so right now they because last year they realized, OCM, the Office of Cannabis Management here in New York City, they realized that while legal cannabis made a amount of money, they lost 150 billion to the plug, because the plug was plugging and was looking at them like, fuck you mean, what paper?
Like ninjas in the night, just coming through
What
and
the
getting.
fuck you mean? We selling pounds. We shipping pounds. We selling pounds. We paying our rent. The fuck. You know what I mean?
I love it. New York just smells like weed. Everything just smells like weed now. I love it for
Stop
y'all.
playing with us. That's the new
I have a
New York City weed.
weed. I have a
Literally.
question for you, ladies. In this AI craze, right? Imagine you could, like, if you have a partner already, then imagine you would like a companion that you and your partner could enjoy. Like just the two of you, no one's cheating, y'all both know about it. And then if you're not partnered up, what would be attributes that AI boy, girlfriend, or whatever companion need to possess to keep your attention?
Oh, say word. An AI girlfriend or boyfriend?
Yeah, that for
Say
you and
word.
your king.
Say word.
See, he ain't going. He's
I
not
don't
gonna.
know. I mean, for me, but I want them to like do the chores and all the other things so that I can enjoy my life. Babysit my kid for me, do those types of things.
Oh hell yeah! Oh hell yeah! Because what you're not gonna do is touch my man. That's what I said. No, bitch, you don't want to. No, I don't want to be in here fighting with AI over my dick. Nah, 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 girlfriend. Because we could squabble. We could squabble. We could definitely squabble up in here. But yes, girl, you could go do the laundry. You could wash clothes. You could cook. Girl, yes, baby, sit the children, pick them up from school. Matter of fact, girl, you are the one that that's gonna be nice to the mother-in-law. Yes, you are gonna be the new improved me, bitch. What? You're gonna be the new improved me, bitch. Yes, but you don't get to take my dick. No, you don't. No, no, no. I don't know what. No, no. If you need a nut, you gotta figure it out somewhere. But you're not figuring it out with my dick. I'm gonna tell you that. Nah. We can't play. No, we can't play like that. We don't do that here. What? What? Like Wakanda? We don't do that here. We don't do that here. Oh hell no! Oh hell no!
I like how specific it gets.
Oh hell yeah! I like where she went with it. She said, "Nah, she could do the chores. She could babysit the children. No, she could." And then me and wife be on vacation and shit. Like, what the fuck? Like, yeah, she in the house doing the chores. She doing what she's supposed to do.
She's just rich for no reason. She got all the money but want to do all the chores. There you go.
I'm saying that's it. That's her whole life purpose. But she don't get to touch wifey. Nah, she don't get to touch wifey. Nah. Because I'm pretty sure she did. Nah. She looking at her like, nah. You don't get to touch wifey. You of all the things in here you get to touch is not wifey.
But y'all could
it's not wifey.
It. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, hey, to each his own.
No, because you like the
You muted yourself.
Oh no. I have limitations. My thing nice. So it has my thing can only be nice to me. I can't. Sharing business. No.
Yeah.
I'm particular.
No village for you. No village building.
No.
It's a
and he
different.
feels the same way. Let him hear something about somebody want to share me. Share who? Share with. No. That's
I already
mine.
know. I already know. When we first became friends, I was coming on a little too strong, and he thought I had a crush on his girl, which she's a beautiful woman, of course, but there's a respect factor, so she was already in the sister zone. So okay, I ain't gonna be all up on your pussy, sir. I just love her. She's my queen, and he had to make very clear. No, that's my queen.
Yes, because
anyway, I'm a flirt.
Right, because what happened was exactly. Let's break it down for real. What happened was we having a discussion, and this one calls me her queen in front of him, and he's like, "Nah, that's my queen." And then immediately she says some small shit like, "Okay, so I'm just a side chick," and immediately I had to be like, "Hey. I don't want to die today. You don't want to die today. So let's get back to safe language. Let's pull this back all the way because we have gone too far. Gone too far.
Yeah. I know.
And he made sure let her know, nah, that's my queen. I don't know what. Stop saying that. He wasn't playing. That ass wasn't
How
playing.
about you, Jabria? Like, what would that AI entail for you?
It's funny because all I could think of were like personality traits versus like physical. but I also was thinking someone that like does acts of service and like cooks and cleans and does that kind of stuff. Like, I think that's true for a lot of women or people who identify as women or get treated as women. Like, I think that acts of service are something that we tend to be the ones giving. So like being able to receive that's hot. Like someone being able to predict
that's literally sexual. Like, yo, knowing that, yes, and then there's another me in the kitchen doing everything. She cooking, she cleaning, she done did the homework with the children, and she done read them a story, and I don't do nothing but smoke weed and eat and fuck my man because you can't. Yes, fuck yeah.
Rich. Sounds rich.
Okay. Because the rule is you can't fuck my man. No, you cannot have him. You can do everything else in the house, please. Release me from all the responsibilities. Release me.
Goodness. You're so funny, Queen. We appreciate your time. Do you guys have anything else that you want to add or let listeners know?
Definitely got to tell people, because of course we we subscribe to your YouTube channel. So as soon as this YouTube video drops, we'll definitely tag you on it. But of course, any social media you want to drop, tell the people.
Pearls of wisdom.
Well, once again, I'm Dr. D, the Can Aquarius MP. That's my handle on Instagram. So you can definitely check me out there. If you live in the Virginia area, you're trying to get your medical card, I am a nurse practitioner. I do medical cannabis evaluation through batesvirtualhealth.com. And once again, that's batesvirtualhealth.com. So, yeah.
Love that.
Love to see it.
We'll definitely put that information in the description. Go ahead, Jabria.
I'm Jabria, Bree, that dope coach, all of those different things. My Instagram handle is Crafted Can Coach. I unfortunately could not keep Canna because Instagram likes to be censoring us, but I digress. But what I do is I help people gain confidence and intentionality with their cannabis use. And so I do that through educating them, through coaching, through different workshop offerings. I have a group and individual coaching program. So definitely hit me up on Instagram. But my website is also craftedcannabisllc.com. So definitely check me out.
And of course, we'll include all of that in the description. Yes, indeed. Thank you, ladies, for being on the show. We absolutely appreciate you for being on the show. And of course, feel free, now that you've been on the show, you know that anytime in the future you have anything going on, you want to advertise it or promote it or come back and talk about it, shit, the door open, honey. All you got to do is email us and we'll get you on the schedule. You know what I mean? That's how
your family now.
Thank you.
Comes on this show.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Definitely appreciate it. It's been great to talk to y'all. This has been a very fun conversation.
Oh, absolutely.
I masturbated for this so that I could get that clarity going. That's why, I'm sharp today. You know what I'm saying? So I did that for you guys because I was like, I need to up my bars on that. I just feel like these people I'm gonna talk to, and my queen, of course, I need to be, my cognition got to be there, So thank you for that inspiration. Okay. Now I wasn't looking at any pictures. I was thinking about this event.
No. Clarity is good. Clarity. No.
I'm a recovering sex addict, but one step at a time. Okay.
And again, knowing yourself is growth. You know what I'm saying? Admitting where we at is growth. Yes. And on that note, motherhood, sex, marijuana in a motherfucking building.
With our King Cat Aquarius.
Aquarius podcast in the building. Thank you for being in the building, ladies. All right.